Okay, let's get the baler out and the baling tractor, and well, we have to choose, right? Which one? They're both beautiful, fantastic machines at the peak of performance, just ready to bale hay by the literal tons. You know, we don't need that. Superfluous. Okay. Trusty Rusty, my old standby. I've been baling with this thing for 12 years. Lots of work, lots of maintenance on it. Still has its idiosyncrasies. Doesn't like to tie about, we'll call it 5% of the time. Maybe a little bit less than that. I've done a lot of work to get to that point. It also has not quite a frozen plunger, but a stiff plunger because the rails are rusted nearly through and they've swelled up from rust. This one, if you recall from my videos, I replaced the rail on it right down in there. I replaced that rail this last summer. All I've ever done with this baler is, here we go, you can feel that. You can't feel it, but I can. It actually turns over much easier. Before, it wouldn't turn over at all. It took serious hydraulic power to get it free. All I've ever done with this baler was test run it with baling up some hay out of the barn, rebaling it. So that means I know that we have, I've greased it up. They're both been greased before they were put away for the year. They both should have some twine. Plenty of twine for this cutting, probably even to here. This is the girl we're going with. We're going to give it a shot. I want to see how it runs, and we're using my favorite, third favorite, one of my three favorite tractors out of the three I own, my Super MTA. We won't talk about what's wrong with her, just what's right with her. She starts up, she runs, PTO works, hydraulics work, and it's just cool. Couple of bolts jammed in there to set my reel height. That's not right. But we're doing it anyway. Okay, I expected that on the first bale because it didn't have anything to tension it. But I didn't expect this. That should have tied. What do we got going on? We have it's like that knot didn't slip free. Might have been a tension thing, so what we're going to do is we're going to throw this hay back in there, spool it up, and trip the knotters and try to get us a knot. Give me a second. Alright, let's trip the knotter, kick the PTO on, and see what happens. Trip the knotter. Okay, we have a clean knot there. This should just pull right out. Yep, clean knot right there. I want to say it was a fluke, and I want to say it was just a tension thing, right? Bale didn't have enough tension, so we'll go ahead and go through and re-bale this up. Keep baling. Glad we're going to keep baling hay. Alright, I want to keep baling hay. This is what we do, because it's fun. And chicks dig it. Well, 3 bales broken. Fourth one in here is broken too. And in fact, I may have lost my twine. This is pretty much the point that I knew that this baler wasn't going to work for me. I tried adjusting the bale tension in a couple other settings. I just couldn't get it to bale better than 50%. So we had to reset our expectations and go at it from a different angle. Well, there's no way around it. This baler lost today. I lost. I wasn't able, I'll bet you there's not a single really good bale out there between being too loose and all of them, probably the majority of them that broke. So we're getting trusty rusty out. I've primed it. I went ahead and took what was left in this baler and grabbed another full bale and ran them through here. First ones have tied. Don't know about the second one yet, but I have much more confidence in this whole. I just spent more time on this baler. I've gone through that thing I don't know how many times, and yeah, it's worn out. The knotters, the roller bearings on those are shot, and they're not an easily replaceable item. We'll get to that eventually. Tomorrow, it's getting late. Let me put the kids to bed, and tomorrow afternoon after work, I'll go out there and try to clean up that mess I made in my neighbor's field. So here we go again. Anyways, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Let's do it. Not a great bale, awful dry, and it's that shattery stuff that's been baled up once or twice already. So we'll see how the good stuff, the good windrows look here in a minute. It's light, but it's so dry, it's what I expect. That'll stack and that'll feed. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this field up. Shouldn't take but a minute now that I got a baler that's actually running. Old trusty Rusty for the win. I'd like to report that from this point forward, it was nothing but smooth sailing. Trusty Rusty just took off, started baling, didn't miss a tie, and I was able to crank through these fields with no problems at all. But we all know that I would be lying. There were issues, but it wasn't too bad. So after this first initial few bales, it wouldn't start the tying cycle. That is pieces and parts that were a little bit gummed up and had to be cleaned out. Wasn't too big of a deal. It just gave me some infinity bales where it just kept cranking that bale out until it was 12 to 15 feet long before I recognized I had an issue. Took a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of juice to clean up some old grease and get everything functioning the way it should. And then, of course, when I moved over to my other field, the tension was just too high. I actually broke a couple of bales because the twine itself snapped under the tension of those bales. That wasn't a big deal. Adjusted that tension and moved on. I was cruising right along, and all of a sudden, the drawbar pin popped right out, and of course, it snapped the U-joint and the yoke where it connects to the tractor. Just another little bit of an issue. But in all reality, it was almost perfect. It didn't miss a single knot. The only time it didn't tie was when the tension was so tight that it actually broke the bale. But it didn't miss a single knot out of all the bales that I baled out. I had really good yield on my fields this year too. When I got onto my fields, it was heavy and dense and just made perfect bales. Just great bales. This was such a pleasure to do this year. I ran into some issues and you just worked through them. And as far as that new baler goes, I'm not giving up on it yet. There's plenty to do on it, and we'll get that thing tuned up and running. I'll bet you it's just going to take a little bit of fine tuning with those knotters, and it'll be doing better than old Trusty is. That's just the way it goes with this old equipment. You know, if you're going to farm with old equipment, it's hobby farming, and you just have to deal with it and roll with the punches and maintain it. So, hey guys, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of this video. Just me cranking away, putting hay up. Give me a like and a subscribe if you're willing to. I enjoy this. I'm trying to grow the channel. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.